guys, Rocky with Wild Edge Outdoors here. Hey, today I thought I'd just take you through how I get these kayaks, well, got another one over there, my kayaks back and forth to the water. I've gone through several different stages of where I put them up on top of my vehicle. I had a truck where I would put it in the back end of it. All those worked fine, but these kayaks are just getting to the point where they're just so heavy that you just kind of want to make it easier, you know, instead of struggling to get it up on top or inside of something. I just decided to go with a trailer, and kayak trailers are super expensive, as I'm sure you guys all know. So I went and just built my own kind of. I'll just show you what I did to put it together. Well, here's my little trailer. You can see it's a single place snowmobile trailer. It's a 1972. Didn't have a lot of miles on it, I guess. It just sat most of the time. And it's not the prettiest thing, but it works. First thing I had to do is come down here and I re-greased all the bearings. I'm not going to go through that with you. There's plenty of videos out there that show how to repack bearings. But this was kind of nice. I could just go to North 40 and pick up a kit that had the bearings, the caps. Actually, I didn't even need the cap, and the seals, and they fit just fine. And all I had to do was get some wheel bearing grease and repack them, put them on. The tires were kind of weather checked, so I got new tires on it, used the old wheels. And I wanted to put those bearing buddies on it, but the way these things are put together, the old ones, the nut holding the whole hub on sticks out so far that once you put that bearing buddy on, it blocks the grease fitting. So I can't do that. I'm going to have to just repack them each time. I'm just kind of showing you the underside of it. Nothing special. But I did go through and just make sure everything was in good order. And this can tilt, but I don't find a reason to do that. But then I did buy a new tire for a spare. It already had lights on it, but I did have to change the coupler here because it was 1 7/8", and I don't use 1 7/8 anything. So I changed that out, and that was just a bolt in, unbolt it and bolt it back up. I think I had to drill a hole so it lined up. Let's get to the part where the kayaks sit on it. I did something just pretty simple. Since I got 2 kayaks, I wanted to make sure there was enough room for everything. So I put these 2x4s on going across, and I used carriage bolts and then bolted them right down to the steel so they couldn't go anywhere. And then I put Unistrut on here. The reason I used Unistrut was then I can loosen these up and move the piping back and forth so it can fit different kayaks if I need to. And these pipes lay just real nice in here. You can see they're nice and straight. But if you look at it from the side, you can see how it molds itself to the bottom of the kayak. I'm just going to show you my other kayak that's off the trailer right now. You can see how the kayak has these little indents all the way. They aren't perfectly straight. They narrow down towards the back, but for the most part you can set those pipes right in those grooves. And then, like I said, it kind of molds itself to the curvature of the kayak. And you can take a look and see how this sits in here. Try to get my shadow out of here. If you look in here, in the back, they don't sit right in those grooves. I suppose I could mold it to do that. But in the main part, it sits very nicely right in the groove. And then these come down and rests on top of the 2x4s, but then it goes up and keeps it up a little ways away. In order to bolt these pipes on here, cut a big hole here so I could get my socket down there, and I've got a big washer, and then of course we've got the spring nut in there for the unistrut. And of course I just bolted the unistrut down to the 2x4. And this has made it very easy for me to transport my kayaks. So it didn't take much to put this thing together, and it's made it so much easier to transport my kayaks. I mean, it's very little back and forth of loading and unloading things on. As you can see, I got a ton of stuff on my Outback here. And these things, like I said, they've gotten pretty heavy over time. And it just, I know I'm not the only one that thinks about going fishing. You go, man, I just don't feel like throwing that thing on top of the vehicle. So this trailer really helps, and I pretty much keep them on the trailer the whole summer, and I've looked at the hulls and I have had no problem whatsoever having them sit on this. I don't know if anybody else has had any issues with it, but so far mine has been just fine. So if you got any questions, ideas on how to make it better, I'm always open to other ideas, that's for sure. So if you found this helpful in any way, just feel free to subscribe, and remember to hit that bell to be notified when we put out more content. All right, see you.